All right, you should have your portfolio open to page 103. We should have already filled out page 102, especially the bottom portion where it says write an introduction and choose supporting topics. Those should already be filled out. Now, at this point, whatever work you don't do is going to make it much harder to do the rest of the work. We are essentially going to be guided through how you would write a good paper, and I'm going to be telling you exactly what to write. Now, sometimes I'll display it here, other times I'll just say it, and you have to listen and record. So make sure that you're following along and finishing these videos. This is going to be another big chunk of your grade here in the final weeks. All right. So today we're doing plan supporting paragraphs. You're going to list reasons and evidence that support your claim. Remember, the question is, should cities outlaw plastic bags? Now, you either said, yes, my claim is that plastic bags should be outlawed, let's get rid of them, or no, plastic bags should not be outlawed. It depends which one you said, but let's go ahead and go with some examples of what you could write down. Now, after you write your introduction, which was the bottom of page 102, you're going to write your first supporting paragraph. So you're going to give your first reason of why people should either get rid of plastic bags or we should not. So here's an example. Reason one is people don't recycle plastic bags the way they should. So this would be a reason for getting rid of plastic bags or for banning plastic bags. People don't recycle plastic bags the way they should. So you can go ahead and write this down if your claim is people or that we should get rid of plastic bags. Now, next is evidence. It's asking for evidence to support this reason that people don't recycle plastic bags the way they should. All right. Well, one evidence that you could write down is that less than 12% of plastic bags end up in recycling centers. I'll say that again. Less than 12% of plastic bags end up in recycling centers. So that means that most people aren't even recycling plastic bags, even though we say that, yeah, you can recycle them and that takes care of all the problems. Less than 12% of plastic bags actually end up in recycling centers. Now, you may ask, where did you get that evidence? Well, I got that from one of our readings. So because I'm quoting evidence from a reading, I'm going to have to actually say where I got it from. So this comes from Baggett or Bannett on page 39. So I did this research for you. All right, so right now I'm just showing you how it would be done for the future when you're in a language arts class. All right, go ahead and write this down. By now you should have all three of these filled out. And then the author of that article was Sanjay Malik. So now that you have that down, in this first paragraph, you're going to need to mention a counterclaim. So a counterclaim is bringing up the other side of an argument. All right, the other side of the argument. So here, a good counterclaim would be that paper is not a better alternative because recycling paper takes more energy. So paper bags are not a better alternative because recycling paper takes more energy than recycling plastic. All right, so you should have this now written down for your counterclaim. Now, remember, whatever your claim is, just go ahead and make sure you're filling it out here as I'm explaining it, and then we can make changes to it in the next step. But this is just practice. So right now, everybody's pretending that your claim is that we should outlaw plastic bags. So after you've said your counterclaim, paper is not a better alternative because recycling paper takes more energy. Now we're going to give a response to that counterclaim, essentially destroy our opponent's argument. So the response to the counterclaim is that paper bags are made from trees, which are a renewable resource, unlike plastic bags, which are made from oil. All right? So paper bags are made from trees, and that's a renewable resource. So it doesn't matter if it takes more energy to recycle them, is that trees are a renewable resource. There's only so much oil in the world, and that's where plastic bags come from. And you want to make sure you write down the source. The source is from Bagot or Bannett, page 39. And the author is the same author as before, Sanjay Malik. So you should have all of these filled out, including the evidence here. I didn't post it, but I said it before you move on to supporting paragraph 2. So let's move on to supporting paragraph 2. So now we're going to give our second reason of why we should ban plastic bags. Reason number 2 is plastic pollution is affecting our oceans and wildlife. Right? And if you want to be fancy, you can always say is negatively affecting our oceans and wildlife. All right, so that's the second reason we're mentioning. This is starting our paragraph 2, or our second body paragraph. So, and the evidence given here is that 136 different species of sea animals die from contact with ocean debris, from plastic bags, and other trash. Now, that's a lot to write down, and you may not know how to spell species or debris, but feel free to go ahead and summarize it, because I'm not going to show it, but feel free to go ahead and summarize it, and I'll say it again. Evidence that plastic pollution is affecting our oceans and wildlife is 136 different species or types of sea animals die from contact with ocean debris, from plastic bags, and other trash. So go ahead and you can summarize or write down word for word the evidence that I just said. So that number, 136, that's evidence. So, and we got that from somewhere. And I pulled that from this article, With Millions of Tons of Plastic in Oceans, More Scientists Studying Impact, page 59 through 60. All right? The author of that was Laura Parker. Now, in this paragraph, rather than bringing up another counterclaim, we're going to use a little something different. We're going to change some things up, all right? And that just helps keeps the reader more interested. So now we're going to give some statistical evidence, or evidence that has to do with numbers, all right? So the evidence we're going to give here is more than 1 million animals die yearly from plastic, all right? More than 1 million animals die yearly from plastic. And again, where we got that is from a different source. It's from EcoWatch, page 35. So now, I know you haven't gone through and found these sources yourself, but this is just me guiding you through how you would organize the information once you gathered it. All right. So once all this is done, we only have the conclusion left. All right, once the conclusion is done, then we have a nice 4-paragraph essay, the intro, 2 paragraphs, and then this conclusion. So the conclusion here is set up like this. The controversial debate regarding a ban on plastic bags in the United States will surely continue. So go ahead and write that down. I'll say it again. The controversial debate regarding a ban on plastic bags in the United States will surely continue. If you need a pause to write it down, go ahead. However, after considering points on both sides of the issue and reviewing, and I'm going to say persuasive research. You could have said recent, relevant, substantial were some examples, but I'm going to say persuasive research. I strongly, and you're going to pick one, approve or disapprove. Now, in this example we've given here with all these quotes, the example is that I strongly approve of laws against plastic bags. And this would be your conclusion. With all of this filled out, you are now ready to move on to the next step, which is actually drafting your essay.